ridiculous, okay? You're a 2-0 Pac-12 team and you're playing at home. People tell me, oh my gosh, but it's California. It's so hot. First of all, shut your mouth. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master of Football, back at it again. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be up to date on all things EA college football and watch plenty of college football content, subscribe to this channel right now. I also do some Madden and pro football videos as well. Please subscribe. It's free to you. All it's going to cost you is being up to date on everything EA college football and plenty of college football content, in addition to Madden and pro football videos as well. Remember, like it, share it, subscribe it, comment, all that stuff. I love the comments. I love people getting in there. I love the interaction and everything like that. But again, without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, here we are. We are on Friday. Boise State plays San Diego State, and I'm not going to lie right now. I have no idea what to expect. We are less than a week away from our starting quarterback, who was a Johnny Unitas watch list quarterback, getting out of the game, and our offensive coordinator getting fired 16 games into his tenure with Boise State. So we have no idea what to expect. But again, we're going to get off of that. We're going to get towards something else. I actually want to address one more thing first. I had a couple comments on my video yesterday about the professionalism of Dennis Dodd. I want to make sure we're clear about this something. I don't think that he was lying. However, I do think that the sources have been saying that for weeks now, and I think him releasing it during a time when it was kind of a downtime in conference realignment is algorithmic mastery. Trust me, there's a reason why I made a video on it too, because my videos went like yesterday. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Northwestern. And the reason why I want to talk about Northwestern is because we've been seeing something happen with conference realignment. I will let you know. Like I said, Boise State fan, I have been very, very adamant about wanting to get into a bigger conference and things like that. However, there are certain things that you have to remember about conference realignment. A lot of them, what market you have, how much people actually watch, what's your academic prestige, make sure the universities can sync together, because they sync together on a lot of different things there. One of the more, I don't want to say underrated, but definitely not first, but up there in terms of considerations, is the stadium that you play at. There's a lot of things about that. And Northwestern has taken this to light. Now, Northwestern is already in the Big Ten. Let's make sure we're clear about that. But I do understand the importance of having a quality stadium. And a quality stadium so much so that they might even want a smaller stadium than they have right now, as long as it's quality. Here is the article from 247 Sports right now. Northwestern football, Wildcats reveal renderings for new $800 million Ryan Field. Now remember here, I'm a Las Vegas Raiders fan. They're $2.2 billion on Allegiant Stadium. I think it was 2.2, somewhere around $2 billion. So $800 million is a lot, but again, it is not that much. But you see the fact they have a couple things here. Northwestern University revealed renderings of plans for a reimagined Ryan Stadium Wednesday, with plans to demolish the existing near-century-old structure in favor of a new $800 million structure. The new Ryan Field Stadium is set to be funded entirely with private dollars, requiring no taxpayer financing, and will create a world-class home for Northwestern athletics, a statement from the university reads. Remember here, there's Northwestern, okay? Northwestern alum have this thing called cheddar cheese, okay? They can pay for this sort of thing. Northwestern says that the new Ryan Field is designed for a maximum capacity of 35,000, a reduction in the capacity of more than 12,000, and will also feature a canopy. The current structure has a capacity of more than 47,000 for football games. The announcement comes a year after Pat and Shirley Ryan came through with the largest gift in the university's history, with the purpose of funding a new football stadium. Keep in mind, Ryan Field, Pat and Shirley Ryan want to start a new football stadium. And how much did they give? Oh my God, Patrick and Shirley Ryan family makes a new $480 million gift. One gift, the largest gift in Northwestern's history, providing the capstone to the $6 billion We Will campaign. Gift will advance research, educational initiatives, and athletics. And that 480 is going a lot towards athletics. Let me tell you what, because your boy Patrick Ryan, he is a billionaire insurance salesman, insurance businessman worth $8.2 billion, okay? Your boy has got money. Now, we want to see what Ryan Field in the future is going to look like. So here we are with Danny Ecker, and we have a couple of these renderings here. This tweet, I'll make sure I include this in the description here, but you can see the outside. Definitely really, really modern outside, really, really updated. You see the inside of the stadium. Like I said, you see that canopy across the top there. Looks really, really cool. I'm sure when you get inside, it's definitely going to be a lot more intimate of an environment, but you can tell the fact that, like I said, it comes up a little bit more, has that canopy, looks really, really cool. It almost reminds me kind of a soccer stadium. A lot of soccer stadiums have that canopy there. You see the outsides here. I mean, this just looks So cool. Now remember here, again, paying attention to a lot of conference realignment. One of the big aspects behind conference realignment is the difference between having a big stadium, having a nice stadium, and having a on-campus stadium. So as an example of a big stadium that's not a nice stadium would probably be the Liberty Bowl. Memphis right now it's a big stadium. It's not super nice, and that's the reason why it's going through an update. You saw the fact that Northwestern, or not Northwestern, but Memphis, Boise State, and South Florida all have wanted to update and or get new stadiums on campus or update their own. The reason why is because that's how important it is. Then you see another example of really high quality stadiums that are off campus for universities. Think South Florida, think Tulane. We're going to bring up both of those teams because one went in one direction and the other went in the other direction, or actually hasn't gone in the same direction, but is thinking about it. But you can see the fact that that's important for that. You got to have on campus, you got to have it be up to date, nice, up to date things like that. Boise State's Albertson Stadium is already going through its update of its own, trying to get to that 40K number. But think about that. That's the Big Ten right now. They would rather demolish their 47,000 seat stadium. Keep in mind, this is another crazy thing about this. The Bears are going through their own stadium situation right now because Soldier Field is one of the older and one of the smallest stadiums in the NFL. And now they're talking about, possibly going out, outside of the city of Chicago, sometimes going in, this and that. There's Lori Lightfoot and all that whole situation. I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole, but I do know that has been contentious with the city of Chicago. What's going to happen to the Bears? Well, think about this. What if the Northwestern Wildcats demolish their stadium and they play at Soldier Field? Well, the Bears play at Soldier Field too. I mean, that's a possible situation. I know that happened with Minnesota when the Minnesota Vikings and the Minnesota Golden Gophers shared a stadium for a little bit there too. But man, I mean, this is definitely the situation here where you can see the fact that a smaller stadium, as long as it's up to date, it's nice, and it's on campus, can work. We'll see a couple of those examples right now. So the first one here is Ullman Stadium. So Ullman Stadium replaced Mercedes-Benz Superdome as the home stadium for the Tulane Green Wave after 39 seasons at the venue, and it is situated on the university's up-down campus. Remember, we would rather leave a pro stadium and play on our campus in a smaller environment than to do that at the pro stadium. And you can see the fact that Ullman Stadium right here has 30,000 seats. If we come over here and we see a couple of the renderings of Ullman Stadium, it is a pretty cool stadium. Like I said, it's a little smaller. I mean, it's college environment, very intimate. You're really close to the field. There's not a bad seat in the house. So it's pretty cool. Again, they would rather do this than play at a pro stadium. And then coming over here to the South Florida newsroom, you can see future on-campus stadium. That's a big aspect. Right now, they play at Raymond James Stadium, where the Tampa Bay Bucks play. I know that right now it's a little bit of a contentious thing because of Hurricane Ian, but that's where they play right now. Now, that is several miles off of campus, which has been a big issue. So remember, South Florida was at one point the number 2 team in the country in the early 2000s. They were a really high-ranked team, and we thought there's no way that Central Florida is going to catch them. Well, Central Florida invested a little bit more, created the bounce house, on-campus stadium, did a lot more to reinvest in themselves. South Florida kind of pulled back a little bit, and then Central Florida got picked for realignment over South Florida. South Florida was a Big East team, and Central Florida was, a Conference USA team back in the day, even a MAC team at one point. But they, because of their investment and because of the slow grind, they've built themselves up to that point. A future on-campus stadium for South Florida will put them in a good stratosphere because, like I said, Tampa, it's a good market. Nobody's really over there. I mean, you can maybe argue that Florida and Miami have a little bit of that, but Tampa is kind of far enough away from everything that it kind of is its own entity there. And if they were to have their own on-campus stadium, it would really help them in the next round of realignment. Like I said, I think the next round of realignment is probably going to be whoever the Pac-12 or the Big 12 can win between those two. But then after that, that's where Boise State, San Diego State, South Florida, SMU, Memphis, that's where those teams step into the fold. If they get this stadium, they have a leg up in many instances. And again, a smaller environment might not be so bad in multiple ways. We see here, this was a couple weeks ago with our dear friend, Mr. Troy Aikman. He calls out UCLA fans for another Rose Bowl embarrassment. Check this out. This is from Jeff Schwartz. This is an end zone view. Now, to be fair, if there's that many free seats, most people who are sitting in the end zones move over to the side to a better seat. But at the same time, that is ridiculous. Okay, you're a 2-0 Pac-12 team and you're playing at home. People tell me, oh my gosh, but it's California. It's so hot. First of all, shut your mouth. I want to make sure we're clear about something, okay? The most miserable I've ever been. I've been to LA plenty of times. I've been to San Diego plenty of times. I've been to Fresno plenty of times. The hottest I have ever been was Labor Day weekend 2019. Boise State was playing at Florida State. Remember here, the game was going to be at a neutral site in Jacksonville. It got moved. It got moved to a neutral site of Doak Campbell where they play. So not only was the game moved on short notice, okay, most people were prepared to go over to Jacksonville. Now it's going to be back at Doak Campbell. There was a hurricane that's coming through, and it was against a team that was, like I said, a Mountain West team, and a team, Florida State, that was 5-7 the year before. So the fans weren't excited. It was moved from a hurricane, but look at this stadium. This is the best stadium shot I could get. There's a couple spots up here, but you can see for the most part people were there. Tom Luganville said it was the second hottest he had ever been at a stadium, and people showed up. I'm telling you, it's one aspect behind that is the fact that it was on campus. Okay, it's on campus. It's a big stadium, but it's on campus. The Rose Bowl is not. And like Troy Aikman said, possibly a smaller venue if it was on campus might be a better idea. Like he said before, he says, this is an embarrassment when we couldn't fill the Rose Bowl in 1988 when we were the number one team in the country. Anyone else at UCLA think it's time for an on-campus 30,000-seat stadium? Of course, if we can't play better than we did today, it would be half empty too. Yeah, looking at this right here, but basically what he's saying is that on campus, close to university, allows a lot more students to be there. Students add the ambiance, they add more things like that. So I'm with him there. And again, we see with Northwestern, we see Tulane, we see the fact that South Florida is already talking about moving from Raymond James Stadium, a pro stadium, to a smaller venue on their campus. That's the direction everybody's going, but man, we'll see what happens here. But I personally like what Northwestern is doing. Do you guys like it? Get in the comments right now and let me know. I see examples like this all the time. I know as an example. So a McLean Stadium for Baylor, they moved over to a really, really cool venue. Like I said, it has that canopy over it. Moved actually to a smaller stadium. But I like the way that they do that. But again, like I said, in the comments right now and let me know. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, hopefully Boise State can win tonight. I'm not going to lie there. I'm not super confident just because I have no idea what the offense is going to be. But beyond that, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys later. I am out.